We often say the mind is the enemy. Could be the friend, could be the enemy. There are so many ways the mind is the enemy that I don't think we all even realize. And I want to talk about one major enemy within you you may not even be aware of that's making your life really difficult. Let's take an example of this. Let's take an example of success. No one likes to be a failure. And when we're a failure, it often hurts us a lot. But what does failure mean, or what does success mean? No one likes to be a loser. Well, what does it mean to win, and what does it mean to lose? No one wants to be unhappy. What does it mean to be happy or unhappy? Well, believe it or not, most of us have defined these things subjectively. Now you may say, no, I'm a devotee. I know exactly what it means to be successful. I don't see that. I see a lot of devotees feeling like failures all the time, even though they're not failures, because they've defined success or failure according to other values other than what Prabhupada has given us. So, for example, you try hard in devotional service externally, doesn't always come out well, and you think, I'm a failure. No, you're not a failure. You tried. That's your definition of failure. Or you were very successful in your service, but you didn't achieve a certain level. So you've defined that level as success. And so you only came here. And so in your mind, you're thinking you're a failure. And then by thinking you're a failure, you can become very discouraged, disheartened, lose your enthusiasm. I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You succeeded, but you defined success or failure according to your idea of what it is. Unless I can do what this devotee does, I'm a failure. Unless I can get this many people to come to a program, I'm a failure. Unless I can get this many people to watch my video on YouTube, I'm a failure. And listen. Well, who defined what failure means and success means? You defined it. And a lot of us define success and failure in a way that we can't actually win, that we'll always feel a failure. And if we're always feeling a failure, that's pretty discouraging. What about satisfaction? What about happiness? We define it, oh, if I only had this, I would be happy. Or if I was only as successful as her, then I would be happy. Or if I could only do this, then I would be happy. Not really. Because you can chant Hare Krishna right now. You can hear Bhagavatam. What more do you need to be happy? But if you're thinking, unless I get this position, I won't be happy. Until I achieve this, until I get this position, until I won't be happy. So now we've just made a rule that I can't be happy unless there's certain conditions. We do it all the time. You see somebody, they're successful, you become envious. Why? Because you think they're happy and you think you need to be like them to be happy, and you don't like it because their success makes you unhappy because you're not as successful as them, and you've defined happiness or success or winning as them. They're the emblem. They're the role model. And now you're suffering because you're not like them. Who created that suffering? You did. Why? You created a rule that in order to be happy or satisfied or think myself successful or think myself a winner, I have to be like this Prabhu or this Mataji. I have to do this or that. I have to achieve this or that. If only I could do this, then I'd be happy. If only I had this, then I would be happy. And I think you understand that many people go through their whole life like this, non-devotees, never finding it. And so we don't want to be like them. But this is how the mind becomes the enemy. It's been programmed. And so what do I need to be happy? Really, a set of japa beads, a Srimad Bhagavatam, some prasadam and some service. That's all I need. That's what Prabhupada said. And if I think I need to go here, get this, do that, that's an illusion. Now you might say, well, I think I need to change this ashram, or I'm in the wrong varna. Fine. We should be in the right ashram. We should be in the right varna. Slightly a little different than thinking if I get this new job, I'll be happy, or I get this beautiful partner instead of that partner is not so beautiful, then I'll be happy. That's a different thing. That's what I'm talking about. Creating rules which either you can't achieve, or if you do achieve, you won't be happy, or you won't be feeling fulfilled. It's an illusion. That's how we've been programmed. So we need to be aware of the rules we've created for ourselves. And a lot of you listening to this sometimes don't feel so good about yourself because you have rules about what a good person is, and you're not living up to those rules. And some of you have rules which you can never live up to, and so you'll never feel good about yourself. Some of you have rules that you have to be perfect in everything you do. And sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you'll never be perfect. And so you go through your life suffering because you're not perfect. Hare Krishna. That's one of the powerful ways that the mind becomes our enemy. Don't create rules that work against you. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.